We would like to welcome you out to our City Council meeting this evening. Thank you for being here. Welcome to everyone. If you have any cell phones, if you'd please turn them off or on vibrate, we'd appreciate that. But we welcome you here. Doug Hill is here for our mayor. Thank you, Doug, to be here, and all council members are here. We will begin by having our Pledge of Allegiance, and I've asked one of our employees, Brad McElrath, if he would do that for us. Susan was getting a little nervous there. I was looking right at Susan. Susan, I really should have done that, but I wouldn't do that to you.
Will the audience please rise? Please repeat the Pledge of Allegiance with me. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Brad. We appreciate that. Mr. McElrath, I did that pretty good, didn't I? Thank you. Okay, so we will continue on with approval of minutes. We have two sets of minutes, council meeting from December 6, 2016 and December 13, 2016. Are there any questions or corrections on those minutes?
I would move we accept both sets of minutes.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. Next, we have a special recognition, and I'm just going to go to that podium because that's where I go. Doug, if you'd come up with us, please, and Ray Christensen, if you'd come up. Where's Doug? Where's Doug? It's right behind me. You're going to... Oh, Tim, I'm sorry. Tim, we've seen you all day. I thought Doug would have a chance. So, this is a real privilege for us as a city council. We started this program about 4 years ago, and I won't steal Tim's thunder, but Ray, you've been with us over 30 years?
31.
30. Did you notice how I said that? 31 years and 3 months. 30, that's amazing. That is awesome. And so we as a council would like to recognize you as Employee of the Month. We have a certificate for you, Ray, and your name will go back on the plaque here. And so here's your certificate, and we appreciate you as a council. And also, here's a $50 gift card. I don't know if that goes to you or someone else in the family, but...
All right.
You're eyeing somebody, so. Anyway, so if we could just give, at 31 years, that's amazing. So, and go ahead, let's give a round of applause. And now Tim Tingle will give a little more information and introduce his family. But Ray, from a council, we would like to tell you thank you for all your service.
Well, I need to make something clear. So Ray does retire this year, or this year, and actually this month, and we're only 9, 10, 11 days into this month. So last month was supposed to be the month that he was to be the Employee of the Month. So it really is for December. So just to be clear on things and make sure for the record, that's on the record. But I was not able to be here the time that we were going to have that last month. So here we are today. So let me say a few things about Ray. He is a very talented individual. You know, he just personally, some of the issues that I know he has dealt with, there have been a lot of challenging issues over the years. 31 years, that's a long time. And Ray, in land use planning for cities, you're dealing with a very interesting mix. You're trying to promote the public interest, and also protect citizen interests, but also you have the developers on the other side that are trying to facilitate development. And so you're in between two sometimes conflicting elements in the city, and so the work for 31 years is very difficult to do because of those challenges. But beyond that, I'm going to get into that in just a minute, and I'm not going to take 45 minutes, so don't worry about this. But Ray is very talented. He is a wonderful gardener. I don't know if you know that. And I have had the privilege of having many of his vegetables from his garden or from his fruit trees, the fruit from his trees, and he is amazing. And he is a world traveler. Him and Lana and Eric at times, and Rochelle, they travel. He always has the most unique vacations. And so when I'm looking at a vacation, I usually talk to Ray because he's got great ideas on everywhere he goes. But let me just put a little bit more context into what he's done for 31 years. And these are estimates that I put together. When you talk about the customers he's dealt with, maybe averaging 5 customers per day, which would be 1,300 per year, and this is estimates, which he's probably dealt with over 31 years, over 40,000 customers. And those customers are dealing with difficult land use issues, so keep that in mind in the context. In addition to that, is he has attended so many night meetings, probably a little over 1,000 night meetings is what we've estimated that he has participated in. So Lana, Eric, Rochelle, Carson, Connor, Cohen, and Cora, thank you for allowing him to be part of the city and to be there at night when you're at home, having to have him here, and we really appreciate it. And so, Ray, congratulations. It's well-deserved, 31 years. That's awesome. Grateful that you've been part of our department, part of the city, and grateful for your friendship as well.
Just say a few words, and I was going to introduce you to my family. This is my son, or our son, Eric, my wife, Lana, Rochelle, his wife, and we have four grandkids. This is Cohen.
I like you.
This is Cora, and this is Carson, and that's Connor. So they keep us pretty busy when they bring them to us, and we watch the kids. We have a pretty good time with those grandchildren. So it's been a pretty fun time. I want to say I've enjoyed working with Murray City. It's been a good place to work, and the people that are here, it's been a good place, and it's probably the reason I stayed here is because I liked it so well and with the people, so I appreciate that. I appreciate the council and the planning commission, the hearing officers and the Board of Adjustment people that I've had opportunity to work with over quite a few years. So it's going to be a little different for me, not having to come in next week. My last week, or this is my last week, and my last work day is this Thursday. So it's going to be a little different, not driving back here. I'm kind of on automatic drive on weekday mornings to come in here. So it's good. So thank you. And that's it.
I just want to say thank you, Ray. Ray actually helped train me in planning and zoning in 2001. So I've been here for not quite half of your career. So yeah, it was a great start. Thank you. We're going to miss you.
If I could, also on a personal note, had the opportunity to work with Ray for many years on the fire department, and spent some of those night meetings at the Planning and Zoning Commission. And we've worked through some interesting problems and situations together, Ray. I think it was great to work with you, and congratulations on your retirement.
Thank you.
And on this well-deserved recognition tonight.
Thank you so much.
Your grandkids really like you too, I guess.
Yeah. Blair's afraid what his grandkids would say, so hey, he had a good time. Now, Ray and you guys, you don't need to stay, but that's up to you. If you want to stay for the rest of the meeting, you can stay, but I love it. Well, that's up to you. Thank you for being here. We appreciate you very much. Thank you, Lana. Yep. Okay, now let's, we have some scouts here, I understand, and we'd just like you to introduce yourself and the leaders, if you do that, and just tell us your troop number, if you know it, and what you're working on, and where you're, yeah, go ahead.
All right, you guys can stand. These are our Webelos. We're from Troop 3439.
Stand up.
So these guys are working on a plan called Build a Better World. So they had to learn about energy and conservation and stuff. So we came here tonight because they came together and they came up with a question to ask you guys about Murray City energy. So whenever the right time is.
You betcha. We'll do that through comments. Absolutely. Thank you. And so did everyone, did you say everyone's
Oh, this is Spencer.
Spencer?
These are newest. This is Alex. This is Patrick.
Thank you for being here. And these are leaders with you?
No, these are.
Just parents, okay. You're a leader. Thank you. Thank you. And then we'll make sure that we give you that opportunity. So thank you for being here. We appreciate it. All right, now we'll go into the citizen comments. This is not the public hearing, but this is citizen comments. If you have any thing that you'd like to address to the council, there's forms to fill out that you fill out, and we can do that afterwards. You come up to the podium, state your name and address, and if there's anybody here, and if the scouts, why don't you go ahead and let's start that out with one of you. The youngest one, I love it. And just tell us your name.
Yeah.
My name is Spencer Brewer. I am 10. I'm the newest member. And my question is, how are you guys planning on improving our electricity?
Okay, stay there because we're going to answer you. So, do anybody want to address that? Mr. Power? Oh, I love it. You want to talk a little bit about whatever?
Yeah, that's kind of a broad question. The nice part about Murray Power, if you're fortunate enough to be on Murray Power, it's a very reliable system, barring unforeseen snowstorms, windstorms. The big wind that we had on the east side just yesterday, we're 99.99% on usually, and every time we say that, something happens. There's a big outage. We upgraded all of our system about 10 years ago now, so it's fairly new. You buy an iPhone, it's 2 years. You buy a computer, it's a couple of years. With the power department, you buy equipment, it's supposed to last 40 years. So something that's 10 years old is very new. So our system is quite new. We have a diverse mix of places we get power from. We have a generating plant up Big Cottonwood Canyon that runs off of the water that comes down for snow melt. That does not run year round, but it is a clean source of energy. We get power out of Glen Canyon Dam. Also hydro, also zero emission. We do have an ownership in the Huntington plant, or Hunter plant, down outside of Price. And we have 2 generating facilities that use methane gas that's created in landfills. When you dump your garbage in a dump, as it decomposes, you get methane, and methane is a greenhouse gas. The 2 landfills that we are associated with, Salt Lake City County and Transjordan, capture the methane, and we run them through generators, and we get power that way too. So another green source of energy. For a public power system, I think we're approaching 20% green resources. So we try to keep a good mix to keep the cost down, but keep it reliable so that when you go to the wall and flip the switch, it comes on. Especially this time of year where it gets cold, it's critical. If you don't have power, you can't run your furnace. So yeah, we try to keep things going, and we are in the process of looking at how to integrate solar energy into the system also. If you've seen all the articles in the paper, it's a rather big topic. I think Murray's taking a good approach to it by talking to solar installers, solar equipment providers, and people who have it. So we look at it every day. Our council chair, Blair Camp, sits on the utility advisory committee right now too. I got the duty because I've been in the power utility business for 40 years, so not as a line worker, but selling equipment and training people. Does that help?
Yeah.
Wow, you got a great answer, let me tell you. That's pretty good. Thank you. Yeah. Thanks, Jim.
Yep.
That was awesome, really. Thank you. And thanks for asking that question. We appreciate it. Jim, you did a great job. Thank you. Okay. We'll continue on with citizen comments. If anyone's here that, not regarding the public hearing, would like to address the council. If not, we'll close that part and we'll move on. Thank you again for that question, young man. We appreciate that. Next is item 7, consent agenda, and we'll turn the time over to Doug Hill for that.
Thank you. Mayor Iyer is recommending the following individuals to be either reappointed or appointed to the many boards and commissions that the city has. The first is Clark Bullen, who is a new appointment to the Arts Advisory Board to fill a 3-year term. A reappointment of Deborah Daines to the Arts Advisory Board for another 3-year term. Wendy Reichart to the Arts Advisory Board for another 3-year term. Kevin Westenskow to the Arts Advisory Board to fill an at-large position for a 2-year term. Carolyn Milne to the Arts Advisory Board to fill an at-large position for a 2-year term. Mildred Horton is a new appointment to the Murray History Advisory Board in an at-large position for a 3-year term. Ray Black to the Murray City Center District Design Review Committee. That's a reappointment for a 3-year term. Freddie Pimentel to the Murray City Center District Design Review Committee, an at-large position for a 3-year term. And then finally, Buck Swaney to the Murray Planning and Zoning Commission for a reappointment to a 3-year term. I believe the only one here this evening is Mildred. Would you please stand, Mildred? And everybody knows Mildred. Mildred can't seem to get away from community service. Everybody wants her to serve on our boards, and we're happy to have her, again, serve on our History Advisory Board. Is there anybody else here that I may have not seen? So Mayor Iyer is recommending these individuals.
Thank you, Doug, and thanks, Mildred. We appreciate you being here and for your service and everyone's service. It's amazing to see how Murray is filled with volunteers, and we've known Mildred for years. Has volunteered with the school in our city for years. So, yep. Let's take, if that's okay, take them together. Make a motion.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll move approval of the consent agenda 7.1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9.
I'll second.
Jennifer?
Mr. Naponsky?
Aye.
Mr. Kemp?
Aye.
Mr. Bradshaw?
Aye.
Ms. Kenner?
Aye.
Mr. Held?
Aye. Thank you very much. Again, we appreciate your service and all you do.
Can I just make a comment?
Yeah, please,
As I was looking at this list earlier, I realized that 7 out of these 9 are reappointments, and I think, and then of course, Mildred, who's already provided so much service to this community. I just think it speaks so highly of our citizens to continue, because these are things that take time from their personal lives, and the service is very, very much appreciated. So I just wanted to point that out, that these are people who are willing to continue serving. I think that's great.
Thank you, Blair. We appreciate that. All right. We will move on to our only public hearing. Consider an ordinance relating to land use that amends the zoning map for the eastern one half of the property located at approximately 6790 South, 700 West here in Murray City, from R-M-H residential mobile home to R-1-6 medium density single family residential. Tim Tangy presenting.
Technical difficulty right there for a second. This item was considered at the November or December 1st Planning Commission meeting, and they provided recommendations. I'll discuss that in just a minute. But the proposal is by Garbutt Homes. It's for a rezone And keep in mind, this is not a general plan amendment. This is supported by the general plan. For the public, the general plan is kind of the overall planning document that gives vision for what is going to happen in the future. And the general plan, the existing general plan supports this change, so it's not a modification to the general plan. It is to allow it to go from RMH to R16. This is the property that we're talking about here. 7th West is right here. It's on the very southern border of our community. In fact, this area right here is actually Midvale. So it is the very southern portion of our community right adjacent to 7th West. Right now, it's zoned RMH. And you see that, this strip of land adjacent here is consistent with what is to the west, which is Winchester Estates, a mobile home park. But to the north is R16. And the proposal of Garbett Homes is to rezone this section only to this boundary of where the RM6 or R16 ends into RMH. Just to that boundary is where the proposal is for this change to R16. The intent most likely is to look at providing this be part of the property for redevelopment of this R16 zone. You can see the strip of land a little bit closer. It's adjacent to most of this area there are no development or buildings on it, and this is the property, and the rezone is approximately to right there. So based on this, it is consistent, as I mentioned, with the general plan. Tonight, also for the public's understanding, this is a rezone. This is not a consideration of what the future land use will be on this property, other than what could be allowed on this property. And really what could be allowed is simply single-family, low-density residential, 6,000 square foot lots is what the R16 allows. RMH, which is a residential mobile home, allows fairly consistent type of uses, other than the main difference is that mobile homes are allowed in RMH, whereas they're not allowed in this R16 category. But the lot sizes are fairly consistent. Lot sizes for the RMH are roughly eight lots per acre, which is in general close to the 6,000 square foot lot. So the density, if this property is ever redeveloped, will be very consistent. So based on that, the Planning Commission recommended approval. Tonight I'm recommending approval, and once again the approval is simply for a rezone. We're not considering any subdivision or what the future land use will be. I don't know at this point because there's not a proposal into us, but it's simply for the rezone. So we're recommending approval.
Any questions for Tim?
Yeah, I do. Reading the notes, well, actually, your description of it, you've got service access, utility service access to the mobile home park in Murray City. Will that stay as a utilities easement, or can it be built on?
It will, once a proposal comes forward, there will have to be access for the utilities on that, and that will be considered in a land use or a subdivision application. So at that point, we will address those issues.
All we're doing is just changing the name of the
Yeah,
zone.
the bottom line is there is even some, there's some city utilities down there that we would have to have access to, so.
Okay. Tim, is the applicant here, or go ahead? Thanks. You popped up faster than Tim does.
I obviously came in on the wrong side. Members of the council, my name is Richard Welch. I'm the Vice President of Garbett Homes. Good to be with you this evening. I think anything that you needed to know got explained adequately by your staff, and basically this is just an action to make the little strip match the zoning that's next to it. We do have a lot of the property to the north under contract, including this property, and as soon as we can work out all of the utilities and other questions, we'll be back to your staff with a proposed subdivision plat. But we would urge your approval of the rezoning tonight.
Okay, any questions for the applicant? All right, thank you. All right, we will now open up for public comment. If anyone's here for public comment, come on up, fill out, you don't have to do it before, but we'll have you fill out a form and state your name and address, and you have 3 minutes if you come to the podium.
Hi, my name's Patty Phillips. I'm a resident of the Winchester Senior Mobile Home Park. Thank you for the notice of this. We appreciate it. We've been on pins and needles since we came up for sale in June. So you can imagine the 205-plus residents have been on pins and needles. And my concern is, and I'm hoping I'm speaking for our residents, is that I understand that this property mirrors, the property that Garbutt's going to have, but it also touches ours. And anything that's within a stone's throw of us, we're very, very concerned about being encroached on or anything that would disturb our peace there. So I just would like you to keep that in your thoughts and keep us at the top of your concerns, because it's been a scary ride for us. Thank you.
Thank you, Patty. Anyone else that's here to comment? Okay, if not, we'll close that part and turn it to the council for comments or questions or motion.
If there's no discussion, let me get to the right page, sorry.
No problem.
I would make a motion that we adopt the ordinance relating to land use of the men's zoning map for the eastern 1/2 of the property located at approximately 6790 South, 700 West, Murray City, Utah, from RMH to R16.
I'll second.
Jennifer.
Aye.
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 Aye. Thank you. Okay, now there's no unfinished business. We'll go on to item 10, new business. 10.1, consider a resolution approving the mayor's appointment of didn't that we do that? Representative to the boards of interlocal entities. Mayor, Doug.
As you know, the city has interlocal agreements with several entities that help provide services to our citizens. These entities include the Utah Associated Municipal Power Systems, known as UAMPS, Central Valley Water Reclamation Facility, our sewer treatment facility, Salt Lake Valley Emergency Communications Center, known as VEC, which is 9/11, Transjordan Cities, which is our landfill, Utah Telecommunication Open Infrastructure Agency, also known as Utopia, which provides fiber internet, Wasatch Front Waste and Recycling District, which is the waste collection service in the area east of 900 East, the Intermountain Power Agency, Metro Fire Agency, NeighborWorks, Salt Lake, and the Community Action Program. Oh, it looks like, I missed one, and Utah Infrastructure Agency, which is also DBA Utopia. So the mayor is recommending representatives from the city. I won't go through all of those individuals. They're primarily the same individuals that have served last year and in the past to serve as board members and alternate board members to these various interlocal entities, and be happy to answer any specific questions that you have regarding those appointments.
Are there any changes at all, or are they all the same?
They're all the same with the exception of Janet Towers is serving as an alternate representative on, let's see, is it VEC? Metro Fire. Otherwise, they're all the same.
All right. We have a motion.
I would move adoption of the resolution approving the mayor's appointment of representatives to boards of interlocal entities.
I'll second.
Jennifer?
Aye.
Mr. Kemp?
Aye.
Mr. Bress?
Aye.
Mr. Turner?
Aye.
Mr. Hill?
Aye. Thank you, Doug. Our next business item is 10.2, election of chair and vice chair of the Murray City Municipal Council for the calendar year 2017. Do we have any nominations?
Because of term limits, I don't anticipate being nominated tonight. It's been a pleasure serving as the chair the last 2 years. I'd like to nominate Diane Turner, who has been serving as vice chair for the last 2 years, to serve as council chair.
And are there any other nominations for chair? Can we do the vice chair together, or do we need to do that separate?
No, you got to finish this one.
Okay. So we don't need a second on this. Okay. So are there any other nominations for chair? Okay. If not, we'll go to Jennifer.
Mr. Naponsky?
Aye.
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 Aye. Okay. Frank, you're rubbing your head. Okay, I'm over there. I'm thinking, like, are we doing this? We haven't done this for a while, so. Okay, so we have the same thing, election of a vice chair for the Murray City Municipal Council for the calendar year 2017. Have any nominations? Can I nominate if I'm Aaron, or can't? Dave, is that something that you'd be interested? Any other nominations? Okay, Jennifer?
Aye.
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 Aye. Okay, next, 10.3, election of chair for the Murray City Budget and Finance Committee for the calendar year 2017. Any nominations?
I'd nominate
I would
Brett.
nominate,
Oh, I was going to nominate Brett Hales.
We'll go ahead.
I'm going to nominate Jim Brass.
Maybe we'll fight over that, Jim. Jim, is that something you would be? Okay, great. I'll withdraw my name. Thanks, Dave. That was nice of you. Any other nominations? Okay, Jennifer?
Aye.
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 Aye. And then elections for the vice chair of the Murray City Budget and Finance Committee of the calendar year of 2017. Nominations?
Brett Hales.
I'll do it.
I can throw you under the bus, too.
No kidding. Are there any other nominations? No? Okay. Going once? All right. Okay. Jennifer?
Aye.
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 Aye. Thank you. Next, our mayor report. Doug Hill, if you do that for us, thank you.
Well, as you know, the legislature will be beginning their session here in a few days, and we have an opportunity on Friday morning to meet with the legislators that represent Murray City. I know you've been invited, just want to remind everybody and look forward to your attendance Friday morning. Also, I think we could characterize the weather over the past few weeks as bizarre, and would like to thank all of our city employees, our public safety, public services employees, our power department, who have responded to windstorms, blown over trees, snow removal has been very challenging, and just general public safety. But I think they've all done an absolutely tremendous job, and just want to thank the city employees for working on Christmas and New Year's Day and middle of the night. It's been a crazy year so far.
Yeah, I sure agree with that. The snow removal has been wonderful, and I've received comments from citizens that have really appreciated it.
I'd have to agree. I got to drive clear out to West Valley to go to work, and I know when I leave Murray. And I'm kind of on the north edge of Murray, so it doesn't take long. to get onto the unplowed roads. So yeah, it's and I leave about 6:30 in the morning, and they've already gone through. I'm impressed. Excellent job.
I was going to say I've received an email almost for every department of appreciation from residents, and so it makes you proud that you're part of Murray, and very impressed the way they've handled everything. So all department heads give a big thanks for that. Anything else? If not, we're adjourned.
Patty,